The formation of what is now College Housing Northwest was really heavily impacted by the context, the social context it happened in. And it was a time of a lot of social upheaval in the student world, the development of student power, or the concept of that, in the midst of the Vietnam War and the anti-war protests. And that meant there was a lot of tension between students and college administrators, and really students and the rest of society. So it was an interesting time to do what really depended a lot on cooperation. The specific context of Portland State around housing was that there was a crisis occurring in housing here because the university was expanding by means of an urban renewal project and demolishing a lot of the existing private market housing that existed around the university. And this was followed on the heels of other major demolition in the south end of Portland, and so the available supply of affordable housing was shrinking substantially. So students were losing the places they had to live. And I personally got involved because I got evicted 3 times in the course of about 18 months. So I was motivated to understand what was going on, and I was an urban studies student at that point in time and began looking at it from that perspective. We were lucky under urban studies programs that Sumner Sharp, a professor in urban studies, was willing to sponsor a student-run seminar to study the question of student housing at Portland State, and we did that over the course of a term. We proposed a concept for a solution, and that concept was the creation of an entity which is now College Housing Northwest, a not-for-profit, student-owned corporation to own, manage, and develop housing. We rented buildings out by means of lottery and to select who were the first lucky people who got to move in. And the streets were closed, full of people waiting to see if their name would come up to get an apartment in, I believe it was the St. Helens building, which is a suite building, was the first one we opened.